Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Say Less Basketball Podcast. I'm Zach Fulcher. With me here today are my friends Mohammed Daffleseed and William Donzella. We got a nice show tonight, talking about various news around the NBA. So let's get this thing started. First off, there was some news earlier about the Mavs and the National Anthem. I'm not too sure on the details. I think Will was talking about it earlier in our group chat. So Will, fill us in, please.
So earlier this week, throughout the season, the Mavs haven't been playing the national anthem because their owner Mark Cuban has basically been he's trying to he said he didn't want to play it, and in a kind of a effort to support the black members of his team and his organization and probably teams all around the league, to help support them because some of them may have felt uncomfortable with the playing of the national anthem. But later this week, we found out, or the NBA issued a statement that every team has to play the national anthem. So that's because this is a rule. This is an NBA rule. So all teams are required to play the national anthem by rule of the NBA. And it's interesting because another rule that the NBA has is that you have to stand for the national anthem and put your hand over your heart or something. But they've kind of steered away from that, like, clearly, right? Because there's a lot of kneeling, some people, you raise your fist and whatnot. Adam Silver has just kind of let that go, which I would say is the right thing to do. So I kind of wonder if the playing of the national anthem itself is going to be a rule that's just kind of thrown off to the side that nobody really follows eventually. Obviously not now, maybe not in the next few years, but maybe eventually, because it's pretty clear that the NBA doesn't want to be like the NFL, right? And the way that the NFL has kind of had their national anthem situation kind of roll out. Right. And the NBA has handled it way better, but it's very clear that they kind of want to give the power to the players and let them do what they want. It's kind of their freedom, kind of their right.
Yeah. Right.
So my thoughts on it are, if you want to kneel, go for it. You want to do whatever you want to do, do whatever you feel is right. As for the playing of the national anthem, I feel like it's just a cultural thing at this point, that it's played at the beginning of a game of sporting events. You don't play it at the beginning of any workday anywhere else, at least that I know of.
Nope.
So I think it's just a cultural thing we've fallen into that everybody just kind of expects it, and if it were to just be omitted, people would be like, that's against the grain, right? It's against the norm. So I don't think it would be a bad thing. I really don't. I personally have no emotional attachment to the national anthem being played at a sporting event. I don't. I personally cherish the song. I understand it. I understand its impact. I understand why people care about it. But will I get upset if it's not played at a sporting event? No, it doesn't. I don't care. It doesn't impact me.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to add. I think the national anthem is cool, and the works with the pregame celebrations and stuff like that, and the ceremonies. But if ultimately it's too much, for teams to play it, and it's just a cause for problems and issues, then they shouldn't play it. But I think there's been a lot of cause about whether kneeling for the anthem is disrespectful to the flag and not. And personally, I think nobody is trying to disrespect. Nobody's trying to disrespect anything when they're trying to make a stand for social justice. I think that's just stupid. They're like, well, it's not the best way to go about things. You should kneel. You should find something else to do to speak your mind. But nobody's trying to be disrespectful when they're standing up for issues. They're trying to be as respectful as possible, while standing up for issues and social justice. So as far as I'm concerned, if the national anthem's played, they should be able to do whatever they want with it. I don't have a problem with it being played either. But if
you mean not being played?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it not being played or being played or anything. But if they're going to play it, players should have that right to do what they want. So
Well, I mean, I'm kind of same with you guys. If it's
yeah.
gonna be played, it gets played. If it's not, it's not. I just think I understand like why Mark Cuban thought of an idea like that. Just because, of course, it's been going on last year,
Hmm.
especially last summer. But like you said, Will, like guys were still kneeling during the national anthem, especially for the bubble. Guys were all kneeling, side by side, uh, arms crossed and everything like that. So I don't think Adam Silver put out a memo during the bubble about kneeling just because, obviously they're doing it because of what was going on during the summer last year. Um, I was watching Undisputed today on Fox, and when Shannon and Skip were talking about, Shannon would talk about how back in school, I don't know if you guys remember, we used to have to say the Pledge of Allegiance,
Yep.
Yep.
every morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's still a thing now. I remember doing it in middle school, but not in high school. I don't know if it was in high school, Will, at Wheaton North.
No.
But I do remember back in middle school, we'd do the national anthem. Someone would sing it over the intercom every Monday. They stopped doing that, and then obviously they stopped doing Pledge of Allegiance. So I don't think it's a law to do it.
Right.
So I
I
mean,
see
if
what you meant earlier. Okay.
yeah,
I will say this though. I think it is a bit radical just to take away the national anthem to begin just out of all the sporting events. I think it is a bit radical, and I think it is a bit, it's unlawful. I think, if it takes away the right for those players to kneel during the anthem and give themselves a
yeah,
platform to speak justice.
right, right, right,
If they take it away, then those players might not have the opportunity to stand up like they did during the bubble. When they showed that it was a unity across the whole camaraderie with the NBA. So
right.
I will say it is a little bit radical just to take the whole thing away and take away the spirit of the United States and the and NBA, and take away players' rights to do stuff with social justice. But
Like for me, just
right,
like Shannon was talking about the history of the anthem, or just the Star Spangled Banner, all the other stuff. Just like when you listen to like the words that come from it, it's just like this country with its history, obviously the past 300, 400 years, doesn't
right,
really speak on the land of the free and all the other stuff.
yeah,
So I mean, it was written like in, I think it was 1840. Actually, I don't even know my history, to be honest, but what's it called? But yeah, I just like, for me personally, just because obviously, since I'm African American, I I agree with the players and Mark Cuban. If you want to take it away, that's fine. I don't think it should be like, I think franchises should have the decisions to do that. But
yeah.
for me personally, I agree with Mark Cuban and Maverick players. Just it's just something that doesn't really speak on uh, the lyrics. I guess the lyrics don't really accommodate the history of the United States. So
I wanna talk
Yeah,
about something else though, because this has been an issue over the past
yeah.
four,
We got
five,
those along.
five
Yeah,
years. I don't know what. It's probably been longer than that, honestly. Before we were live, there's this notion that you'll hear people say it, that sports are separate from politics, right?
right, yeah,
right.
And granted, to an extent, yes, but historically, no. That's just not true. There's no.
Facts. Yep.
First of all, politics are in everything, essentially.
yeah,
Almost
Yep.
right.
everything is political in some sense.
Hmm.
But if you really want to say that sports, like people say, oh, sports need to be separate from politics today, blah, blah, blah. Well, we could just go back to Muhammad Ali, all right? One of
Hmm.
Right.
the greatest probably the greatest sports activists of all time.
Hmm.
Jim Brown. I mean, these are people way, way
Right.
back when,
Right.
right?
I mean, Jackie
And
Right.
Robinson. Right.
Jackie Robinson. I mean, it's
It's always been
inherent.
interlinked. Right.
Yeah, it's inherently
It's
in.
anything inherently linked with history and time is going to be linked somehow with the current events.
Facts,
It,
facts, facts.
exactly. So I don't. When people say that, I don't see how you can separate it, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's right for people with major platforms, i.e., LeBron James, to not speak out and to not
Yeah.
do something, because
Exactly.
if they do something, they'll
Inspire.
impact everybody else. Yeah, for instance, something simple like the vaccine.
Hmm.
They're going to get the vaccine first, right?
Right.
Well, then as a result, maybe other people will start to get the vaccine because they see these iconic figures getting the
Hmm.
vaccine. That could be a good thing. So I don't see how you can separate the two. I know that people may want it to be separate. I just don't I don't think, especially in today's world, it's really possible, and historically it hasn't been.
Bro,
Yeah.
athletes, I think, to me, athletes are maybe the most impactful, like, figures to, you know, people like us, more so than uh, music artists and actors and actresses and politicians and whatnot. I feel like athletes, they kind of like, they're more closer to, their fans than any other, you know, type of celebrity. So I feel like athletes, since they've been speaking up, past couple years, like you said, I feel like it's been better. So
Yeah.
definitely.
It's a good thing to end on. Yeah. They're all, all the celebrities are role models, at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
so,
And they all have big voices, and they're all going to have powerful voices, no
right,
matter how
yeah.
you look at it. So,
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of like their well, it's not necessarily their responsibility, but it kind of is. Like, it's a human being responsibility. If you see something wrong and you can do something to change it, you should change it. If you're a good person, you should want to change that.
Yeah.
That's
Facts.
just if you have good morals. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I'd encourage more people to do stuff. Just try and change something. You never know. But that brings me back to the whole kneeling thing or whatever. People saying that that's not the right way to go about it. What is the right way? What's the right way?
Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
What is the right way? I mean, we've seen how peaceful protesting has worked throughout history.
Nothing's the right way. Well, you know that, man. There's been countless examples of peaceful protesting, and there's always some people that have to spin it to something towards disrespecting the country or the flag or whatever. So it's those type of people.
Well, yeah. But we don't want to get too
We want-
political on
right.
that, because this is sports. So let's move on to our next topic, and we're going to talk about statistics. Which team statistic most directly correlates to team wins?
This is interesting. I thought about this a lot.
I have too. I did a project on this actually in college.
Okay.
Really?
Thing.
So you must have all information.
Let me hear. Yeah, let me hear Will's thoughts
Go ahead,
first.
man.
Yeah, let
Mr.
me hear Will's
No,
thoughts
I did a little
first.
project.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it was right. I just
No, but just go ahead since you
I
seem
was
to have all
just
the
given.
information.
Right,
I
he's
was
got
given
knowledge.
some.
He's got
I
experience.
was just
Go
given
ahead.
some
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
BS data, some nonsense data,
Mm-hmm.
about it. So, personally, what I feel like, if you're not looking at advanced stats like offensive rating, defensive rating, that kind of stuff, just like
PER.
traditional steals, blocks, rebounds. Obviously,
Yep.
you can't look at points, or you can look at points per game average, but not like or I guess you can look at that. I'm being an idiot. And 3-point percentage, like all that stuff. Personally, the one that out of those that most directly leads to winning for me is rebounding. Why is that? Well, if you have
Facts.
more rebounds than the other team, that means you have multiple things possibly. You have more shots. They're missing more shots.
Right.
And you're getting more offensive rebounds, which again leads to more shots.
And they're getting less opportunities.
And they're getting less opportunities. So if you have more rebounds than the other team, to me, that's a pretty good indication that you're going to win. Now, my cause for pause is the Warriors, because they're like the only team in recent memory, at least. I haven't like dug in the stats too much. But at least in recent memory, they're like the only team that could just win readily without out rebounding the other team. Now, why is that? Because where do they make up for it? In 3-pointers.
Right.
Which which if you're shooting more threes than the other team, and
Making
you're
more
probably going to
threes.
win and making more, which makes me start to think that today maybe 3-point percentage is a more important stat. But what I think is most important is your offensive rating or your defensive rating coherently. Those
Yeah.
two basically just look at how your offense works, how your defense works, and those and just directly correlates to win. I would say defensive rating more so.
Yep.
I mean, you can look basically if you have top a top 10 defensive rating, and I'm looking at some stats right now. If you have a top 10 defensive rating, 8 of the top 10 teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
If you have a top 10 defensive or offensive rating, all 10 of the top 10 teams will make the playoffs historically. So I guess by that stat, offensive rating would be more important. To me, I just value defense a little more because I believe in the saying defense wins championships. You can look at the Bucks Super Bowl to kind of support that. So those two stats to me are glaring signs that you will be winning. If you have top 10 and those two stats, you're gonna win.
All right. Well, Will basically just said everything I was
They
gonna
just kind of
say.
solved the whole thing.
So good job on your paper, bro. You just answered the
Yeah.
question
He
for
aced
me.
it. Yeah.
Freaking
I
dumbass.
did get an A, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
But to bounce off that, I think I agree with most of what you said. Rebounding I think is really important in everything. Another thing is second chance points. Obviously, that comes from offensive boards. I think those kind of impact the game a lot, and also points off turnovers, especially fast break points, stuff like that. Uh, I say for a team that averages the best offensive rebounds, they're gonna get the second chance points, all that stuff, and then defensive rating with the turnovers. If they cause turnovers and they score off those turnovers, in basketball, 16 points off turnovers is pretty good. That's probably gonna get you close to win, whatever. In football, obviously, points off turnovers is probably one of the most important aspects of the game. So yeah, I'd say I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. I was gonna say offensive rebounds are pretty important. You get the shot clock to reset. You get you get a chance to relax and
Well, you can't relax now because remember they changed the rule to
14,
if you grab offense,
It's
14
14.
seconds.
14
Yeah, but
now.
you can at least collect yourself, and get an
Yeah.
opportunity to get another shot up there.
Yeah, maybe if you have Steph Curry, you can just pass it out and
Well,
just
yeah,
Right.
obviously.
shoot from literally
Well,
anywhere.
they don't need a shot clock reset. He can just pull up from anywhere, and he'll make it at any time. I saw the other day he pulled up from the logo with 21 seconds left on the shot clock, and made it.
And also tonight he just got blown up at Brooklyn Nets. That's crazy.
So
bro.
minutes you see, I got the San Fran background. I'm rocking the DePaul sweatshirt, so I got Chicago and and the Warriors teams, on my back right now. I'm just saying, But I will also say, I think fast break points are also a little bit underrated. I think if you can beat the other team in transition, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna set yourself up to be a win.
But the thing is though, like Will said with the 3-point shooting now,
right?
Those things like second chance points, you get offensive board, most likely you have at least 1 or 2 guys open for a 3. And then same thing with fast break points in transition. What do you see guys run out to? They either go to the corner, they don't even go to the basket anymore. The guy drives the ball drives to the basket, and if he don't got a shot, he kicks it out to the corner because there's always somebody there. Same thing with second chance points. So I feel like 3-point shooting, like Will said, is probably just as important as those things. Well,
you're right.
I mean, it goes together with those things.
It goes all together. Yeah.
So
that's crazy that all 3 of those things just came together.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at here, these stats is 3-point percentage. Actually, if you have a top 10 3-point percentage, 9 of the top 10 teams make the playoffs. So that's basically the equivalent, if not more important than defensive rating.
Right.
And I guess we could make that argument that today's NBA 3-point percentage may be more valuable than that stuff.
Yeah.
Because of what you pointed out, Mohammed. I mean, you got the Warriors, bro, and I just like have vivid memories of when Durant was there, and he'd just be running down the court, and Steph and Clay don't even go to the basket. They don't even care
Right.
because I mean, you can trade threes and twos, threes for twos. Bill Simmons wrote a book that I read. He talks about the analytics behind basketball, and this is basically how the Rockets operate. What's his name? Daryl Morey.
Yeah, Derek Moore.
But he quit. He stepped down.
He's in the
But
season the Sixers now, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
but before he had stepped down, this is kind of how they operated, and they just looked at the percentage that you can get, percentage of good looks of a 3-pointer you can get versus percentage of good looks you can get from two, like a mid-range, anything other than a layup, anything other than that. And it just comes down to there's no point to shoot 2-pointers unless you're at the rim. There's no point.
Yep, interior points in the paint, stuff like that.
Exactly. So, I mean, it is really important. But one thing I think might be an underrated stat, and maybe this is just because I like it, is assists.
Assists?
Yeah, I just like assists. Like, if you can pass,
move the ball around.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, if you're moving the ball, to me, that shows a good fluent offense, and then maybe that inherently leads to a good offensive rating.
Yeah, it opens up cuts to lanes, and if guy cuts, they pass him the ball, and then again, there's always a guy open for a three.
You know what?
So,
I'm gonna be corny here. I'm gonna say
oh my God.
I'm gonna be corny here, and I'm gonna say all of them matter. I'm gonna say all of them matter because if you can get an offensive rebound or you can get a defensive rebound, but if you can't go down to the other side of the court and get a fluent offense and get this fluent offense and get an assist and get somebody to make a 3-point shot, it's not worth it. So I think they all have to. I think they all got to flow together.
This is
all right, bro. If you want, you always say some basic answer, bro. Simple answer. Just shut up, man. For real. Well, like you said, bro, I feel like Daryl Morey, he's like I know people look at the Warriors as like the pioneer of like the 3-point shooting stuff, but I feel like they're pioneers because they have shooters. I feel like Daryl Morey's like but Daryl Morey's like the first, like, he was the guy that looked into like the numbers like nobody else did.
Oh, 100%.
And he built a team off those analytics. So I feel like, the Warriors had the shooters. They had the, best shooting backcourt of all time, obviously. But I feel like Daryl Morey's like the first like analytics guy that actually went into the stuff and like actually built a team off of it.
If Daryl Morey had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson instead of James Harden and James Harden and Westbrook, which wasn't for long. But if he had those two, I bet he wins a championship just based off analytics. Just because Steph and Klay they're that good at shooting.
They draw so much attention on offense.
And nothing against those other guys. Like, they're great, but they're not Steph Curry and Klay Thompson when it comes to shooting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's not an insult to anybody. Yeah,
nobody comes close to those guys.
Klay Thompson is unbelievable. That man, when he gets hot, he's the hottest player, I think. Which actually brings us to our next topic. Who is the most dangerous offensive player in the NBA when they get hot?
Derrick Rose.
Get out of here.
Oh Lord,
bro.
Oh Lord, shut up, man.
Derrick Rose, bro.
Man, shut
bro,
up.
get out of here.
Derrick Rose.
We got Klay. We got Klay and we got Derrick Rose.
3 guys. Hold on, bro. Shut up.
I didn't say mine yet, Zach.
Okay.
Kyrie, Derrick Rose, and I put Kevin Durant up there.
I take offense to that. Will, go ahead, say your piece, man.
Obviously, you must say some biased answer.
About to go in.
Wardell Curry. Wardell, go ahead.
No, I'm a similar Wardell, but I got some reasons behind it. So
mine is Klay Thompson.
Don't matter. I'll take Klay over Steph.
And I have countless games of evidence.
That's fine.
37 points in a quarter, the 60 or whatever points, however many he
points
scored on
in 3 quarters.
Yeah, in 3 quarters. Then the one where he dribbled 11 times. I mean, that man is insane.
I'm pretty sure that was a 60 points.
Oh, was that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that man's insane when he gets hot. He's ridiculous.
Good pick.
I would also say Kevin Durant.
Cool.
He's elite.
Just because he can score
Kevin Durant just
anywhere.
can just score anywhere. That's the thing. Like, Klay Thompson can't score like KD at the rim, but KD can't shoot like Klay. You can shoot.
Yep.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy on those players. And last but not least, if we're talking about crunch time, Iguodala.
Stupid ass. Stupid ass. No, you guys
I'm
just
done.
you
No.
guys just answered my question for
Bro,
me.
I
You
just want to
said
be Max Kellerman for a sec.
I want
uh-huh.
Iguodala.
I want
Oh,
Iguodala. That's being
I only
put at the
said it
center of the
because
earth,
I
fate
knew
of the
it'd piss
universe on
Zach
the
off,
line.
bro.
Fate of Universe on the
On
line.
the
Oh,
line. I want Iguodala.
I want Iguodala.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
okay.
you guys just answered my question for me. You said that KD cannot shoot as well as Clay, and Clay can't drive to the basket as well as KD. Well, I'm just saying, Steph has got one of the best handles in the league. He can get to the basket very easily, and he's the greatest shooter of all time. So if I'm taking somebody who's hot, it's gonna be Steph, man. He's the greatest shooter of all time. When he gets hot, he can't miss. I'm gonna say Clay. Clay does rival him. Clay's a good argument. The 37
Clay is
points.
above him.
What?
Clay's
am I saying?
above him. Above him when he gets hot.
No, he doesn't play above him. He doesn't play
No,
above him.
he's above him when he gets hot.
No,
Like at their highest, when they get hot, I'd take Clay over Steph.
Okay, that's fine by you, but I think Steph is the greatest shooter of all time, and he deserves.
Hey, that doesn't play into
All
anything,
right,
bro.
how about
Like,
this?
Matter of
Question.
fact.
Hold on. Well, let me put a guy. Since Zach wants to talk about handles and
it.
everything and getting to the rim. I'll take, like I said, Derrick Rose. I have nothing to speak about that because obviously everybody knows how he finishes at the rim. He's stronger, bigger than Steph, faster. And when he gets hot, he can shoot mid-range, can shoot the three-point, he can get to the basket. Same thing with Kyrie Irving, bro. When Kyrie gets hot, he's just as good as Steph.
No,
and
I don't agree.
Yes.
I don't agree.
Yes. Go watch his 50-point game against the Spurs. Then come back to
that game was
Kyrie
unreal.
and Rose get and Rose get hot, they get the guy assigned to them to guard them as close as possible, and they get some attention from the team that they're on fire. But when Steph is hot, when Steph isn't even hot, he gets attention from the entire team when he crosses the half court line, bro.
Not when KD was there.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, he gets attention from the entire team, even when KD's there.
I want to know if Steph Curry wasn't
KD would not have
6
won a
feet tall,
championship without Steph.
and Steph wouldn't have won one without him.
He did
Or
win without
LeBron losing
he did
Kevin
win one
Love
without KD.
and Kyrie Irving.
That doesn't matter. He still won a championship without Kevin Durant.
Asterisk. Bro,
It's not an
so
asterisk.
lucky.
It's not an asterisk.
Yeah,
he still won. He still won.
Kind of is. It's so funny how he lost to that same team with those two healthy players a year after while blowing a 3-1 lead. So I have nothing to speak about that.
Yeah, and KD blew a 3-1 lead to Steph first in the Western
Not in the finals.
Not in the finals.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm talking about Steph right now, not KD. I'm just talking about Steph in general.
Yeah, but Steph is the best.
2015.
Okay, so if KD...
Zach, he was down 2-1 to LeBron with Matthew Dellavedova as a second player. And that's why they won Finals MVP, because the person that impacted that series more than him was Iguodala.
No, but then Steph stepped up in the finals and went
he stepped
on
up.
Dellavedova.
He stepped up too late, bro.
Remember,
maybe if he did that the first three. If he did the first 3 games, maybe he could have got Finals MVP. But he 0 for 3 right now. That's tough.
Yo, you good, Mohammed?
Yeah, my bad, man. My setups, kind of non-functioning right now.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, even though the Warriors took a big L tonight against the Nets, last time Saturday prime time, KD and Steph met. It was the good old-fashioned game where KD and Steph battled in overtime. Steph hit 12 threes, current record at the time, and of course hit that dagger of a shot in the overtime period. Steph Curry. Everybody remembers Mike Breen's infamous double bang call. So I just want to say that when Steph gets hot, when he hits 12 threes, when he hits that shot in overtime, there's no one in the league that can top him in terms of being hot.
The way he doesn't do that in the playoffs, bro.
He does do it in the playoffs.
Not really. Give me a playoff game where he goes off like
Remember,
that.
Remember the New Orleans Pelicans series.
It wasn't hot.
Series.
He wasn't hot
that series.
No, he wasn't. He didn't have a game like
he went hot down the stretch of the series against the
Thunder
in the Western Conference Finals.
What's the most 3-pointers he hit in a playoff game?
I don't know.
Look it up.
I know he's hot.
Look it up. Somebody look it up.
I know during that 7-game series against the Thunder when they came back down 3-1, he was hot those last couple of games.
Yikes. All right, bro. If that's what the way you think, then go ahead, man. I named 3 guys that I would rather take. Actually 4. Clay, Kyrie, KD, and Derrick Rose. I'll take all those guys being hot over Steph.
No.
They're
I
all
disagree
better.
because Steph is usually
Except for Clay, everybody else has handles, can finish from anywhere, can shoot from anywhere just as good. So I'll take
no,
them.
they cannot shoot from anywhere just as good.
Yes,
Don't
they
say that.
could.
That's
Yes, they
blasphemy.
could. No,
Steph
it's
Curry is
not.
the greatest shooter of all time. That's blasphemy.
Okay, that's
That's
fine. That's
blasphemy.
cool. Whatever.
Matter of fact,
Durant
Steph
can
Curry when he
shoot
touch
from
when he touch
anywhere.
when
So can Clay. Come
yeah,
on.
but they don't get the assignments and they don't get the attention that Steph does.
Okay, that's fine.
Steph
But we're talking
crosses
about when
when
they get
Steph
hot. We're
when
talking about when they
Steph
get hot, not when they're just playing in a regular game plan against them, bro. Like
they
nobody's talking about that.
the
We're just talking
team's
about when
game
they
plan.
get hot.
No, the team's game plan against Steph is that he's always hot. When he crosses the half court line, they pick him up and they make sure that he doesn't get an open shot.
Okay.
Because if he
I mean,
gets
I was
hot
watching.
and
I was
makes
watching.
threes,
I was watching the
then
game.
suddenly
I
the
watched
whole
the
offense
first.
comes alive.
I watched the first half against the Brooklyn and Golden State game, and they were putting one guy on Steph. So I don't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had experiencing some technical difficulties here. Just Zoom and the pandemic. Hard to meet up in person, and we're getting this thing started. So you just have to bear with us with these technical difficulties. It's just going to happen. Sorry about that, but we're going to get back on topic here. With the topic about play. So we're talking about Steph and all that. Looked it up. Steph Curry has 9 3-pointers. And Muhammad obviously was arguing about Kyrie and everyone else. So we're just gonna might save that argument for a later
Nine
time.
3-pointers. Where?
In a playoff game, that's his record.
That's weak.
His most 9. Then I also pointed out that Clay and Steph scored the most threes in the playoff series ever when they played the Thunder in 2016. And Steph also hit 7 threes and scored the most points in the Game 7 against the Thunder. But we can always save that topic for later time. There's always going to be beef between Steph Curry with me and then whoever Muhammad's going at to Wardell that on any given day. So you can see his face right now. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you see it right now, but he's obviously a little bit heated. Got the hand on the face.
Just waiting for you to be done, bro.
He's just
okay.
He's just
We're just gonna move on. We're just gonna move on.
Nobody cares.
So right now we're gonna look at playoff teams that are currently not in the playoff seeding at this point in the season who should be, and with teams that aren't sitting out of the playoffs right now that should be playoff contenders, and should be in.
Okay, so who's starting? I want to know.
Okay.
Oh.
All of us wanted to go. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Will. Go ahead,
No, it's fine.
No, I had my say. with Curry.
I want Mohammed to go first.
Let me chill.
I
want
go Mohammed to go first, so I don't take the spotlight and then say everything you guys want to say.
Let me chill.
Yeah, I mean, great minds think alike. You know what I'm saying, bro?
It's crazy, bro. I have a feeling that a team in your background is on your list or something.
But like you said, man, this team right here, bro, currently 10th spot in the East right now. I'd say them and the Hawks are kind of neck and neck right now in the playoff seedings. I was gonna say the Hornets, but they're actually the 6th seed right now. They're obviously playing good basketball with LaMelo and Terry Rozier, going off this season. A lot of people thought he was going to be a little bad pickup, paying all that money for him, but he's been good. But I say the Bulls right now, and I say the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Hawks are kind of built for the playoffs, so I don't get why they're the 9th seed right now. I kind of expect them to be where the Hornets are right now. And I saw reports that John Collins is available to trade, so I don't know what's going on with that. So, I mean, hopefully they do make the playoffs. I think they're a pretty good team, pretty young, good team. But also the Bulls, I think the Bulls, just because they had a new coach, new system and everything like that, I think it'll be difficult for them to make the playoffs, but I still think they have a good chance. They're battling injuries right now with, Laurie and Wendell Carter, 2 key guys in rotation, out right now for a couple weeks. But I think with the whole play-in this year, how they do it last year, the 9th to 10th seed have a chance to, actually make the playoffs. So I think the Bulls can stick around, that position. I'd rather have them be 8th seed, but we'll see. I can't predict them to make the playoffs this year to a lot of people, so hopefully they do for my sake. my reputation and my financial state too, because I'll lose a lot of money.
I want
I'm
to point
not
out real quick.
not a lot of money, but just some.
I want to
Some
point
amount.
out
Here to
real
adjust
quick
that.
why you were Mohammed, why John Collins, why they're looking to trade him. I'm just from a guess. I'm guessing that he's entering a new contract, and he's gonna want some money. That's
It's
just my guess.
contract, and apparently
Maybe not
he doesn't
meshing.
like his role in
Yeah.
in the offensive system. He thinks Trey Young is too centric on Trey Young. And apparently, I don't know if it's true, but there's a lot of reports of them like having like not beef, but John Collins kind of called him out and said like, I think the offense was involves too much of Trey Young and not enough of the other guys. So I don't know what's that about.
He's probably saying something about how short he was and he doesn't play defense
And has no hair or actually losing all his hair, to be honest.
Okay.
Damn. Shots fired at Trey Young.
Most overrated player in the league, by the way.
That's facts.
Golly.
I
Steph wannabe,
disagree,
bro.
Just
bro.
a liability
Omer
on defense. Liability on defense.
What'd you say, bro?
I said
Will?
Omer Sheik, bro. He missed those 2 free throws.
Omer Sheik.
But yeah, so
Christian Felicio.
But yeah, so East, I'd say Hawks and Bulls. I would say the Magic, but they're kind of been struggling this year. I know they lost what's his name, Marco Fultz for the year, and they don't have Jonathan Isaac. So I guess I could, I think they need a point guard or some type of dynamic guard. I don't think they have trade pieces to do it.
Vucevic.
But yeah. But I mean, he kind of had to have him. I think if they pair him with a good guard, then they'll be good.
No, I'm saying.
But yeah, Vucevic, might as well, man. Best in the league, by the way.
Well, I swear he
better than Jokic and Embiid.
There's an argument for that.
No, for sure.
Putting up like 60 fantasy points.
Yes, sir. My God.
Those who don't know, Vucevic is on Muhammad's fantasy team.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah,
going out west, right now, I say 1 through 8 is kind of the teams are expected to be there. I know the Warriors have the AC right now with their loss. I think they're 14-13. So I'm not sure if someone's gonna jump them or not in the next couple of days. But one team I do think has a good chance is Sacramento. They've been playing really good. I think they've been flying on the radar past whole games because they've had a lot of good wins lately against some playoff teams. I know they beat the Sixers, and I know they beat the Clippers in last week. I don't know the other wins. I know they lost yesterday.
No, they lost to the Sixers, but they beat the Clippers and they beat the Nuggets and the Celtics.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
They're on a 1, 2, 3, 4-game win streak before they lost to the Sixers.
They lost 2 in a row. By the way,
did they play today?
I guess
they played yesterday. They lost to the Magic with Vucevic and Vucevic
going off.
Yeah,
I know about that.
Of course, you know. Yeah.
I know about that one too.
Of course, right.
Yeah, but Kings for sure. I would say Grizzlies because I think they have the same kind of record right now. But they had John Morant out for a couple weeks, and also what's his name? Who's the big guy?
Jaren Jackson.
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas. Yeah. Those are obviously the probably 3 best players on the team. So if they get those guys back, I know Valanciunas just came back recently, and Morant came back 2 weeks ago. But I think Grizzlies, Kings in the West, maybe they're probably being that 9th, 10th seed for playing. Then Bulls and Hawks in the East.
That's good picks.
Thanks, bro.
For the East, I'm going to say the Heat right now. Are not on the playoff race. I think obviously after the round,
Zach, they're gonna make the playoffs, bro. Nobody's
they're not in it right now, though.
Yeah, but we're talking about teams that you didn't really expect them to make the playoffs.
Okay, so then I guess the Knicks will probably fall out, and then the Heat will jump back in.
Do you think the Knicks not making it? I'm pretty sure like the 6th, 7th seed right now.
They're the Knicks. Come on, man. I think they'll fall behind.
They just traded for the best point guard in the East recently. So
that didn't stop the Pistons from. The Pistons had Derrick Rose last year. That didn't stop them from not making the playoffs.
The Pistons are ass. The Knicks are good.
Okay.
What do you mean? That's a big difference in terms of team quality.
Okay. I
All right,
just
bro.
the Bulls are. I said the Bulls should be, and I think they got a nice young talent. If they get the minutes and rotation straightened out, they can be deadly. Levine is by far the most underrated player in the entire league.
Facts.
All star for sure. Legendary scorer at this point, man. I saw the other day.
All
Was
NBA first
pouring
team
it
this
in.
year, please, too.
Dude is crazy, man. He just doesn't get enough hype. I don't know why. But he's definitely up there in terms of
Media
scoring
doesn't
this
like the
year.
Bulls.
Huh? I'm
I
not
said the
gonna.
media.
Yeah, the
My
media
bad.
don't like the Bulls.
Media
Yeah.
doesn't like the
Okay.
Bulls. They don't like Chicago sports in general, so we don't get talked about.
Yeah,
a
but
lot.
Levine is definitely an elite scorer in this league, I think. And if they get the rotation straightened out, with Markkanen and Kobe and all that, they
Hey,
could
for
be really,
Lonzo.
they could be deadly. In the West, I guess this is the same thing with the Mavericks. The Mavericks aren't in right now, but they should be.
I mean, wait, hold on. Who's the 6th to 8th seed right now in the West?
So the 6th seed. So it's the
I know the
Spurs.
Spurs. Yeah,
Nuggets, Warriors.
Spurs, Nuggets, Warriors.
Mavericks not making the playoffs. Put that down right now.
Wow.
Put it down right now.
Write it.
Write it down, please.
Get it written down, please.
Mavericks are not making the playoffs this year, and if they do, I'll shave all my hair off.
Damn.
Really?
Put that down too. Yeah.
What is this? It's 213 now.
You're gonna shave your hair, all of it. All
Yes.
of it.
Relax,
your
bro. He
hair.
goes with the buzz cut anyway. He'll go with the buzz cuts anyway. Relax. He'll get a fade and say, "Oh, I shave all my hair off."
Actually, how about this? Instead of that, you get a lining back here.
Oh hell no!
Get a lining where?
You get a lining in the middle of your head, like
You get
a little worse than Stephen A.
No, he
No.
He gets
All right,
he gets the Curry logo. He gets the Curry logo on the back of his head.
What if I get?
They make
What if I get
playoffs.
cornrows like Curry did, or give me some quiet?
Oh man!
I have to wear cornrows for like a week or two or something like that.
You get cornrows like Kawhi, and you have to go around laughing like him.
Oh man!
All right, yeah, I'll do.
Oh my God!
I'm so dead.
But to get back on topic,
die.
Go ahead.
I think the Mavericks, they got a lot of depth. Luka's obviously always an MVP candidate. Had a nice show the other night. I had a career night the other night. Absolutely destroyed.
Fantasy bias speaking right now.
I'm just saying, they got Porzingis. They got Boban Marjanovic. They got the guy Urang, the guy. They got Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway, both efficient scorers, I think.
And they have the second best point guard in the West too.
Sure, right.
Trey Burke is on the team, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jalen Brunson, also Villanova guard, has been putting up some decent numbers as of recent. So I think they got depth. They went toe to toe with the Clippers in the bubble. So if they can capitalize on that, I think they can make the playoffs. Same thing with the Grizzlies. They got a nice star and with Ja Morant, and then a nice depth around him too with Jonas and Jaren Jackson, similar to Porzingis, and then they got a lot of nice guys off the bench like Tyus Jones and stuff like that. So
my guy Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson, of course.
That's my guy. Dylan Brooks, pretty good too.
At one point this year, I think Muhammad had about all the bench players from the Grizzlies on his team.
Last year, bro.
Same thing with the Spurs.
Yeah, last year was the Grizzlies players. This year was Spurs players, bro.
Oh my God, bro. Anyway, if they can figure out the rotations and get everybody depth and stay, healthy with the COVID protocols, both teams can do pretty solid numbers, I think.
Okay.
But the Spurs, I'm just looking at
the Spurs and the Blazers. Trash.
What?
Wait,
I'm kidding.
What's
I was just gonna say, I think the Spurs are a bit surprising after the slight fallout they had last year, not making the playoffs, and the Blazers are a little bit surprising, being the 5 seed right now. But other than that,
Greg Pop, man, that's the guy.
Yeah,
that is the guy.
For real.
It's West is going to be tough again this year. So
Best conference in sports right there, man.
to be honest, yeah.
Okay. So let me look at my fantasy team for some fantasy bias. All right, Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns. Would you look at that? They're last in the Western Conference, and he's.
Oh, I want to say something. Well, let me say something real quick.
Oh yeah, go for
I
it.
do also think that since the Wizards should not be doing as bad as they are.
Oh yeah.
They have Westbrook and they have Beal every night most of the time. If they can just stay healthy, then they should have bench players stepping up and
They
scoring at
lost.
least
They
10
lost the third best
I
player.
know,
So
but if you have Westbrook and Beal every night putting up 30 points,
it's not every night. Westbrook doesn't play back to backs, and they started resting Beal recently. So
yeah, but
they're
if you
not
have
playing every single
if
game.
you have a most
so-
nights, then you should be putting up big numbers. And if Westbrook puts up, 10 assists and gets near a triple double, they should be in prime position to win games.
That's facts. That's facts.
I saw glimpses of it against their victory over the Nets. I think that was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
When Westbrook and Beal hit really clutch shots with like 10 seconds left in in the game, and they won against the Nets.
Yeah,
and put up like 140. But their bench they should have guys at least scoring a couple like 10 points. It shouldn't be that hard to get your bench into double figures every once in a while. So
Yeah.
I think they should be better than like the bottom of the East right now, which is where they are. They're 6-17, and the Pistons are 7-19. So they should not be that bad.
I agree. So back to my fantasy bias. Well, I can't have Cat because the Timberwolves are terrible, and he just started playing. So that leaves me to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, well, he's out. Convenient.
Yeah, Will's whole team has been out this whole season.
So next up,
he's
will
caught
be
lacking.
De'Aaron Fox. Oh, would you look at that?
He's also out.
Oh, crazy. So then I move on. Laurie Markkinen. What do you know?
Also out.
He's
also
gone. He's not playing.
Will come on the podcast and let everybody know.
Oh, that's
he's had enough.
crazy. that's wild, bro. Danilo Gallinari, he's finally playing on a minutes restriction. He tweaked his ankle. He played 12 minutes in like 2 games. So
yikes.
So clearly my fantasy team can't give me any bias here. So that means I'm being objective. All right, I'm being completely objective.
I was being objective too, bro.
I was sure you won't say Kevin Durant or anything.
Well, yeah. Well, the Nets, we expect them to make it. But here's a team that I expect to make the playoffs just because I think they're a good young team. It's the Knicks. I think the Knicks are a good young team. I think they got a shot this year to squeak in. I also think the Hawks will. I think the Raptors are going to fall off. I don't see Fred VanVleet being like this like the whole year.
Wow. I just looked again at the standings, and they're 12-14 in the 8. That's surprising.
Well, the East is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that, but the East is horrible. is so bad.
Straight garbage, man.
I think the Cavaliers have an outside shot to get like, to 10th seed just to kind of cheat. And we all mentioned the Bulls. I think the Bulls could just get healthy, get Laurie Markkinen back. If Wendell Carter Jr. trade Wendell, please, because the man injured.
No.
I just want him gone. I want somebody who won't get hurt. If he's gonna,
I guess trade him for John Collins then.
Yeah,
him in the first round pick.
I love Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's a great player. He just gets hurt all the time. So, but that brings up a whole different discussion of their training staff, which I have issues with. So that conference, I'll go those teams. Magic, like we said, they'd probably be in there if they were healthy. In the Western Conference, I just want to give the Suns some love. All right, I had them going to the playoffs last year.
Oh my God, again!
And they're going 16-9 right now. Can we?
You
give
mentioned
them
this
some
last
love,
week, bro.
Yep.
Like we get it. You're Suns fan,
I just
bro.
want to give them some love. Okay. The Blazers are a surprise to me.
True.
Right now.
Without CJ,
these are not teams that I don't think will make it, but like the Blazers, the fact that they're still 15-10 without CJ,
beat the Sixers without Dame and CJ. By the way,
so they're clearly elite, and the I think their medicine is just don't have your best players, and you'll start winning. So
They're the
And
problem. Yeah, I think CJ said that on Twitter. He said we were the problem. I think he said we were the problem. I was the problem the whole time.
yeah, and then maybe if they don't have their best players, Robert Covington will be better. But there's no reason that I would want Robert Covington to play better. No specific reason.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, no reason.
What's wrong with the Nuggets? I'm kind of surprised by them. Jokic, like
Injuries,
we talked
injuries.
about injuries.
Injuries.
Jokic would be probably maybe the leading candidate for the MVP if the Nuggets were doing better.
Jamal
But
Murray is a problem.
yes, I agree. But two teams that I think can make it. The Mavericks. I think the Mavericks will make it. That team has way too much talent to miss the playoffs.
Facts.
If they miss the playoffs, it will be one of the biggest, like, just misses in recent memory because that team's loaded. Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, barring health, that team, those two, that should be good enough to just get you there. I think the Pelicans have an outside chance. Nobody mentioned them, you guys didn't. I just like Zion. I really do, and I think Eric Bledsoe, provides a little bit of help. Brandon Ingram, they're a good young team. The West has a lot of good young teams. You guys mentioned the Kings. I think the Kings can get in. I'm ready for the Kings to be good again. I really am. I want to see them good. I love their young team.
De'Aaron Fox, third best point guard in the West.
Very underrated as well.
Yes, he would be really, really rated well if he played.
Probably the fastest player in the league, to be honest.
Derrick Rose still plays, bro.
I was gonna say Russell Westbrook.
I think Fox is faster, to be honest, but
maybe.
No, he's not. Whatever.
Westbrook attacks more viciously, but Fox might be a little bit
takes really
faster,
good shots too.
Mm-hmm.
But out of those are kind of my sleeper teams. I would like to see the Thunder kind of get good. Maybe not make it. So I don't really care if they make it, but I would kind of like to see them be a threat or have a chance because I like their young team. I love SGA. I really do. I know he's on my fantasy team, but just as a player, like his growth has been great. It's been astounding.
Made, by the way.
Yeah.
SEC product.
Yeah,
okay.
and so that he's an SEC product, so he definitely is elite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Big facts.
But his growth has
best
been
conference in basketball.
Yes, sir.
My ass.
Yes, sir. Best talent in the league came from Kentucky, bro. Just
it's ACC. It was Duke. It's North Carolina. Moving on. Keep going, Will. Keep going.
Yeah, but I love SGA, and I kind of want the Clippers to kind of regret trading him.
Yeah, true.
Even though I don't really care. I just was.
It sounds like you do care, bro.
I want him to stick it to the man,
Yeah, I got you.
Just, yeah.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, stick it to the man. Just kind of like, Durant did to Steph Curry tonight when he dipped out. Just stick it to the man. Just stick it to the man, bro. Yeah,
stick it to the man, but wouldn't have a ring without him. So just keep going.
Durant.
Bro, don't mention Steph Curry out your mouth, bro. This man's about to give you a whole biography.
Back to the CJ and Blazers.
But if you look at the stats.
Golly, sound like a LeBron fan. Look at the numbers when Steph, makes this many threes, bro. Like nobody cares. Nice. No final MVPs with all those numbers, bro. It's crazy.
I'm dead.
Underrated.
All right.
Really.
So we have time for one more topic, and that topic.
I forgot to say. Hold on. My bad. Pelicans wouldn't make the playoffs if they had a better coach. Just want to say that.
Cool. They got a lot of talent. They got Zion.
They have a quality team to make the playoffs. It's just the coach is trash. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
So our last topic of the night is going to be NFL, NBA player comparisons.
All right then.
Zach, you said you had some in mind.
Go ahead. I already know what he's going to say.
Speak them into existence, LeVar.
I'm gonna say LeBron and Tom Brady, just because they're both GOATs. Both have extended their careers to play long, extended periods of time. And longevity, both GOATs. their respective rights. Both winning championships recent years. They're putting up big numbers too.
Yikes.
We can go back and forth, Mohammed. Keep going. You can go back and forth.
Yeah, Mohammed, your turn.
If you
Speak.
wanna chime in, go back and forth.
I'll just
I
be
just
the
don't
peanut
think
gallery here.
there's not really a Tom Brady comparison in NBA. If you want to say LeBron because they're both old, I guess, but I guess he's old for basketball, but Tom Brady's literally playing at 43, bro.
All right.
He's playing football at 43.
Tom
LeBron's
Brady's
30.
Yeah,
LeBron's 36. He's not. I mean, he's old for NBA, but he at least had to be doing something in his 40s to be compared to Tom Brady.
Yeah,
so
Tom Brady's ancient.
I just think it's a dumb comparison, and Tom Brady wasn't really a big numbers. If you want to compare him to LeBron was not. I'm not comparing the numbers together, but I'm just saying Tom Brady wasn't that. He's just a mediocre quarterback. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback this year. So
you think Tom Brady was a top 10 quarterback this year?
I don't think he was. Not in the regular season.
Well, if you look at Pro Football Focus, you will see that he had the most accurate passes with 20 or more yards.
Yep. Exactly what Skip would say, bro.
Whatever that shit means.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you look at his regular season stats,
whatever that fucking means.
Go ahead, man. Finish what you had to say.
I was also gonna say, I think the comparison for Mahomes is Curry. I think Mahomes and Curry mesh well together. They're both revolutionizing the game.
Revolutionizing? How is Mahomes revolutionizing? He's just a good quarterback.
Mahomes is issuing. He's in this generation of mobile quarterbacks that can throw on the run and make plays with their feet.
But too bad there's better runners than him. So how is he revolutionizing the game if he's not the best runner?
Who's a better runner than him? Who?
Lamar Jackson's a better runner than him. Kyle Murray's a better runner than him.
Russell Wilson.
I'd probably compare Russell Wilson to Steph, to be honest, just because they're both small. Russ can throw a pretty good deep ball. Steph can shoot a deep ball.
Fine with that too.
They're kind of have no help. Well, I mean, not no help, but they kind of carry their teams. The most important aspect of players in teams. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You got something?
You go ahead.
I have one if you don't.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot.
Okay, I guess I won't go.
Oh no, I just asked and then I didn't hear.
Well, I was gonna say something.
No. Build up. Drum roll.
He said it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2 back to 1, dumbass.
Damn.
Go ahead, bro. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, Will. Go ahead.
Okay. If you insist, I just don't want to hear about this later.
Insist,
okay,
bro. Go ahead.
All right.
We gonna hear about this later.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
Cam Newton. Oh my God.
Cam Newton.
Go ahead, bro. Don't be stopping.
Let me just take off my headset. I heard Cam Newton.
Cam Newton and Derrick Rose. Here's why I was thinking of that. Both won MVPs very early in their career, and they got really good really fast and led their teams to. And Derrick Rose didn't get to the championship. We all know why that happened. But Cam Newton did, and then they just got plagued by injuries, and then have just kind of been thrown around the league. Cam hasn't been thrown around that much,
Yeah.
I think that you don't get traded as often in the NFL.
He certainly has been disrespected, though.
But yes, so that's why I was thinking. I was
by
like,
you
both.
He deserves to be on a team.
So they both kind of just got really good really fast. Then they had horrible injuries that really detrimented their play style, right? Specifically the way they play the game. And then they kind of just got thrown around the league, not really playing their kind of ball anymore. So I thought of
that's
him.
facts. That's a good comparison.
It's not generic like Patrick Mahomes.
Right, Mr. Basic answers.
Curry.
Mahomes and Steph Curry, LeBron, and Tom Brady.
Okay.
Bro, do you even think about your answers before they come out your mouth, bro?
Of course I do.
It doesn't sound like it, to be honest.
No, just spew blasphemy like you, huh?
What blessing did I spew, bro? Tell me.
Steph Curry and
that-
Mahomes and LeBron
that's
and Tom Brady are good
blasphemy.
selections.
Not really. I kind of explained why they weren't.
I showed
So-
similarities though.
Well, Mohammed, I
Yeah,
actually have
they're
a
kinda
different
dumb.
comparison for LeBron. Actually,
Who's
Go
your
ahead.
comparison?
my comparison was going to be Russell Wilson.
That's not a good comparison.
I think it was great because LeBron is known for taking teams with very little far. That's what Russell Wilson does.
But he's
Yeah.
not as dominant as Wilson is at it. So, and Brady's done it more, in my opinion.
Brady has also had the luxury of a
Trash division for
yeah.
almost 2 decades.
And I'm
Okay.
not taking
LeBron-
away
LeBron-
from
and
Brady.
LeBron
I
hasn't
just
had the-
tried to do
LeBron
something
hasn't
a
had the
little
luxury
different.
of a weaker conference.
Yeah, I was just
I
trying to think
guess.
of something unique and not throw the generics out there. So that was.
I'd say
another
I was
one
thinking
thought of.
about Lamar's comparison, obviously because I'm a big Lamar fan and he's probably the best QB in the AFC right now.
Oh really?
You know, after the whole disaster class that Mr. Mahomes boy dropped on Sunday,
That's crazy.
never see Lamar do something like that with all those weapons. If he had those kind of weapons, but I'll say that for another day. Maybe we start talking about the NFL later, in the podcast career.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I say Lamar's comparison, not really a good comparison, but I feel like Dame, just because they're both dynamic players.
Mhm.
But in the playoffs, they kind of don't not show up, but they don't really do what they do in the regular season. So, I said before, like, Dame's numbers compared in the playoffs to his regular season are, night and day. Same thing with Lamar.
I can make that argument about Steph Curry.
You can't. I think Westbrook might
Who
be a
said
better.
that?
Yeah, I was gonna say after
Yeah, Westbrook.
I was
Dame,
thinking
probably
Westbrook,
Westbrook.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
they're just more.
I feel like
think,
Westbrook, they're more dynamic.
both have won MVPs too.
Both have won MVPs. Obviously Westbrook, I just feel like the hate they get is because of the way they play. So I think that's why they're good comparisons also too.
Yeah, that's good.
But Will, I like that D-Rose Cam Newton comparison. That was a good one, bro.
Thank you.
I give you
thought
props, man.
long and hard about it. All right. I
Yeah,
come
good
from
job.
there.
Thank you for actually thinking up here and then using it to use this. Unlike some
I
bozos.
think my LeBron
I guess
is
some of us are
pretty
just built
pretty
different.
damn nice,
I
to
don't
be
know.
honest with you. But
I mean,
I was trying
this
to think of one for OBJ, for Odell Beckham, but
What about
That was also
Antonio
tough.
Brown? Who's the Antonio Brown of the NBA?
Antonio Brown of the NBA.
Oh God, I don't think there's anybody. There's
I don't
no
know.
How about
Dennis Rodman way back when, but even so, no.
Deion Waiters?
I mean,
James Harden.
no, I think James Harden.
maybe J.R.
James Harden's
Smith.
comparison? Probably J.R. Smith, to be honest. Actually, no, because Antonio Brown doesn't really make a lot of boneheaded plays in the game like J.R. does.
He's had a lot of off the court,
Yeah, off the court.
Yeah, I was
problems is
thinking
probably-
off the court.
and then came back and did stuff.
I don't think anybody's done it.
No,
I don't think anybody's thrown furniture off a balcony. in the NBA.
Man,
I don't know.
I mean, you guys have a James Harden one? Who's like a good offensive guy?
James Harden
so-
I think James Harden and Odell Beckham would be a good one. They both have.
Actually, yeah.
They
I
both
see
have.
Odell.
They're both pretty dominant, but they both have jumped ships on their teams. But they
Kind of get lazy
They
when
both
they don't
want
get
the
their
ball.
way.
Yep,
They will both
yeah.
want the ball. They
yeah,
kind of throw fits a lot when
yeah.
they're not getting their
They
play
both-
style.
Put on fat packs,
Fat packs.
and they don't want to.
Man, that's harsh. Fat pack.
I don't know
Could
what.
have said put on a little off-season weight. He said fat packs.
Bro,
He said the
there
fat
was
packs.
no off-season weight for James Harden. He went to a place for 2 days and he came back 100 pounds heavier. There was no.
He was
off-season
selling.
weight.
I'm telling
He
you.
wasn't.
He was
wasn't
selling them
heavier.
tracksuits.
He was
Yeah.
just wearing
He was
some
selling them,
padding
bro.
to get warm during warm
I think
He
he,
was
forgot
selling
what
them.
sport he was playing.
He
thought
was selling them.
for the
He
Houston
was selling
Texans,
them.
bro.
Oh, I got another one. I'm gonna say Tyreek Hill and De'Aaron Fox.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
I think
That's
they're both a little bit underrated. I think they should be higher up in their
But-
rankings and point cards.
What do
and
you
they're
guys
both
think?
both pretty
Deshaun
speedy.
Watson. Deshaun Watson's.
Watson.
It was a
who's
guy who has
great
who's
player
a
that just has no help at
at
all.
whatsoever with a bad front office and nothing.
Well, the Bulls would have been a
say,
pretty great
I
take
say
though last year.
I say like
for this
Jimmy
year.
Butler,
you could
last
say
2 years in Chicago.
You could say Kings DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus, yeah, that's a
On
good
the
one.
Kings, yeah.
Man, that man.
They drafted like center after center after center. He's like, help me out, draft somebody besides the center.
Right. And then he leaves and then they draft Darian Fox.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wait, I want to think of a current.
Oh my
player, 'cause
god.
Yeah, the current player. God, I
This is
can't. I was
fun.
gonna say somebody on the Knicks, but there's nobody really on the Knicks that stands out.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
Knicks are
who's
just
a really bad
horribly run.
who's a bad front office?
The
Other than
Knicks.
Knicks.
The Texans.
Yeah. Other
Oh,
than
we're
Knicks,
thinking
though.
of the NBA.
Oh, NBA.
I mean the Kings have a pretty bad front office.
Yeah.
The Bulls, to an extent.
No, the Bulls.
You don't know what their
No.
front office is like this year.
Their front office is great. They're fine.
They're fine. They're fine.
Personnel wise, they're fine. Results wise, we'll see later. But personnel wise, they're fine.
Well, yes, this year. I was to an extent up till this year. You could have made that argument.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's
I
what I
don't
said.
know who
Yeah,
else.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking about the West. Well, yeah.
No, the Suns, no. Thunder, no.
I mean, to be honest, we have
Mavericks,
to probably
no.
look in the past, like maybe Anthony Davis on the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, because to think like he got Anthony Davis. I mean, he got DeMarcus Cousins, so maybe like Deshaun got J.J. Watt, but they played two sides of different ball.
Yeah, I don't know if
Hopkins,
there's anybody.
Hopkins and Watson, and then Cousins and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I don't think there's a great comparison for Deshaun right now. Because, I mean, this is a little bit too football, but that man, they're just trying to make him. I mean, they were trying to make him leave. I truly believe that at this point. Because they were just like, we're going to take away everything good about this team.
That man, Bill O'Brien, is something else, bro. Oh, my goodness.
That was something else.
There's no effort.
That Hopkins trade is probably a top 5 trades I've ever witnessed. The worst trades I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, definitely.
Across all sports, man.
Well,
yep.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tune in next week for another episode. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.